Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Friday, November the 19th, 2021. Hope you are all doing well here on this Friday, this Victory Friday. Might I point out, again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Got a lot to get into, guys. Got a very special show, by the way, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Let's see. I see Leonard Matthews, Travie, Phil, Brennan M., Owen Turner, what's going on? Yes, game day eve as the Gamecocks take on the Auburn Tigers tomorrow night at Williams-Brice Stadium. Also, again, Victory Friday as Frank Martin's squad gets the job done last night at CLA. A huge win over the UAB Blazers, guys. Again, I want to hear from you. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. I already see Phil, daily weather report for New Hampshire, 46 degrees and cloudy. It's cool here, but a nice day. The sun is shining, Phil. Again, I'm glad the weather is nice where you are. Phil with his daily weather report. Stick to the weather reports, Phil. We don't need to hear the uniform takes from Phil Harris. No, we'll get into that in the show. No, again, really excited, guys. Again, TGIF, it is Friday. Again, appreciate you all tuning in, guys, here Friday, November the 19th, 2021. A lot to get into. And like I said, guys, a very special show today as well. I'll tell you why in a second. But first things first, the Daily Crow is always brought to you by our friends over at Dason and Shilabi Law Firm, guys. Dason and Shilabi Law Firm, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys, both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. Guys are going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. Been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it may be, the last thing that you should be dealing with and worrying about is dealing with paperwork, the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shilabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis is in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, they're friends over at Dason and Shelby Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Okay, 843-790-3377. Daddy O says throwback jersey Friday, too. Yeah, I figured the basketball team, they went with the throwback garnets last night, had so much success. You see we're rocking the vintage Gamecocks football jersey. This thing is absolutely fire. I've only worn this like once. So, I don't know, man. I just kind of felt the vibe. I looked in my closet and was like, you know what? Today's the day to rock the vintage Gamecocks jersey. And this thing is sick, by the way. Shout out Rob DeBoer. Shout out Thomas Dindy. I think a few of the gentlemen that wore this jersey, number 31. Really, really cool stuff. Leonard Matthews says, South Carolina 27, Auburn 24, last-second field goal by Parker White. Guys, Parker White, I think, is only 9 points away from setting the all-time record, by the way. So it could happen. It very well could happen tomorrow night at Williams-Brice Stadium. Let's see. Got a lot to get into. Again, how about the Gamecocks? Yeah, what a win last night. Huge win. Huge win over UAB, as you see behind me. Shoot or shoot. The whiteboard might change a couple times a day because we're talking basketball, we're talking football, we're talking all that good stuff. But huge win for Frank Martin and the boys, guys. Again, I talked about that on the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 540. We can talk basketball. We can talk football, looking at tomorrow's game, whatever you guys like to discuss. And I'll tell you this. I understand in basketball, as I've said before, you've got to put a product on the floor to draw a crowd. I get it. And those who attended last night, by the way, let me give kudos to you. Because those who were there were engaged. Those who were there were rowdy. And I truly do appreciate you. Now, I am thrilled. I am overjoyed that women's basketball has the support that it does. But I can tell you this, if we can put 13,000 in the seats for a women's game, we can put a damn good crowd in there for a men's game as well. So maybe with a win like last night, maybe it shakes some people of, hey, get your ass to CLA. You know, again, glad we can draw a crowd for the women's team. I know they're number one in the country, and I know Frank Martin's team isn't. And I've been extremely critical of basketball, the program, all that stuff. But being at CLA last night, I'm telling you, folks, this is going to be a fun team to watch. So you can't use the excuse of, well, we just don't support basketball because, there were 13,000 at the game Wednesday night for a women's basketball game. So I'm hoping to see CLA as the wins continue to come because I think you're going to be able to build some early season momentum. Get your ass out to CLA and go watch this team. Get your ass to CLA and watch this team. It's going to be a fun season. Leonard Matthews, little brother, turns 18 today. His name's Cody. Cody, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Leonard Matthews' little brother. There you go. Justin Langford says, I vote keep the jerseys from last night as their home jerseys the rest of the season. Yeah, Justin, I like the jerseys a lot. I'll tell you this, and I know Phil, the reason he doesn't like the jerseys is because of he likes that it just says, he doesn't like that it says South Carolina. He wants it to just say Carolina. I understand. I get what you're saying. At minimum, I just say keep that font. Go back to this font. Like, get rid of that trash Under Armour font. That's my biggest gripe. Brian Welch says, game on the line and will it be down by 2? Who do you want to kick the extra point? Josh Brown, Ryan Suckup, Elliott Fry, or Parker White? Great question. I don't know, man, because Suckup of all those guys has the best leg, no doubt. Josh Brown has kicked game winners. They've all kicked game winners, I guess. That's tough, man. How do you choose? How do you really choose? You know what I mean? Like, I guess, who's the guy in crunch time you most trust to make it? I don't know how you pick one. Gun to head, if I've got to pick one, because you did not specify how long the field goal will be, I'd go Ryan Suckup. Just because if it's like a 55-yarder, he by far gives us the best shot to make it. Brian Dean says Scott Hagler. Yeah, shout out the Haglers. Let's go with Scott Hagler. Why not? Noah Johns, what's going on, my friend? Hey, special Friday today, guys. I mentioned that. Special Friday today. Not that every Friday isn't special, but today is extra special because you might have seen it on social media. I will be chatting with my good friend Diddy on the ESPN Upstate airwaves, which, yes, I understand the irony of the fact that I'm going back on ESPN Upstate the same week that Mark Ryan implied I would not be going back on the airwaves. But joining my friend Diddy on the ESPN Upstate airwaves actually in 10 minutes, 12:20. He will be calling in, and so I'll be broadcasting that conversation, obviously just like a normal phone call. But if you want to listen on the radio for some reason, you can. But we'll be chatting with Diddy at 12:20, talking tomorrow's Gamecocks Auburn game. Really excited. Probably going to talk some basketball too. Really excited to chat with him. So again, really cool stuff. We're going to be broadcasting that call live. So if you want to call into the show, either call right now or maybe wait until 12:45 or so, because, again, we're going to be chatting with him for probably about 15 or 20 minutes. But really excited that we can actually broadcast that out to you all. For those who don't want to tune in to radio or those who obviously don't live in the upstate, whatever it might be, which I know is many of you, again, we'll be broadcasting that conversation. My good friend Diddy of ESPN Upstate. Diddy's an awesome guy, by the way. Really, really cool Gamecock fan. So looking forward to chatting with him. Leland says, birthday is today. Happy birthday, Leland. Beating Auburn certainly would be a fantastic gift, I know. Justin Langford says, it reminds me of the Eddie Fogler years when we had Melvin Watkins, B.J. Mackey, Larry Davis, and Ryan Stackhouse on the court. Yeah, this is going to be a fun Gamecocks basketball team. And like I said, my comment is not meant to be a slight at anyone in any way. But I just, we put 13,000 in the arena for the Clemson game on Wednesday for the women's game. So there's a crowd out there that can show up. There's a crowd that can show up. You know what I mean? There's a crowd, and I understand you got to win. You got to win more games. I get it. But, I'm hoping by the time we get to SEC play, there's an atmosphere there. There's an atmosphere. So, again, I don't want to overreact to one win, if you will. Don't want to overreact to one win, but that was a good win last night. That was a really, really good win. That was a really good win. So, UAB is a very good team, very good ball club. And, you know, that was a very high-quality win. Great win, early season non-conference win. Kudos to Frank Martin and the guys, man. Eric Stevenson, my guy. Shooter shoot, making things happen. And that's really, to me, the mantra of this team. That's why you see her up there behind me. So, guys, by the way, my official prediction for tomorrow night's game is out. I've got the Auburn Tigers beating the Gamecocks by a final score of 24-20. It's really hard. And I think it's going to be a great ball game, back and forth. I think South Carolina has a great chance to win the ball game. But it's just very hard for me to put my trust and my faith in this South Carolina offensive line after what we saw last weekend. And I think you look at the Florida game, I think the Florida game is a one-off. It is the exception. It is not the rule. And so I think, hey, listen, I think the Gamecocks are going to play better football. There's no question I think South Carolina is going to play better football. Right? They're going to play better football. But will they be able to consistently enough up front move the pile? And I just don't see it right now. I just don't see it right now. I trust Auburn up front more than I trust South Carolina. That's the big thing. I think both these teams want to win the game the same way. I think both of these teams want to win the game the same way. Travis Lee says, I think I'm going to be the Coach Ford of men's basketball. Fantastic, Travis. Fantastic. The entertainment value will be through the roof. Aaron Thompson, announced crowd of 9,000, sounded loud on the radio. Yeah, again, those who were there were rowdy. I appreciated that. Those who were there were very rowdy. That was awesome. Justin Lang, for the guys who wore 31, from this specific jersey, Thomas Dindy and Rob DeBoer. Those are the most notable ones that I can think of. Dakota Lee Centerfied, he needed one more three-pointer. I would have been correct of him going 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Team shot a lot better than I thought as a whole at 48%. Yeah. Finally shot the ball well, and you played good defense. You played really, really good defense. So, John Gibbs says, I think it was all said and done, our sports programs besides women's basketball and baseball have to prove their success on a consistent basis. Again, we should show up and watch our team anyways, and the true fans will do that. But to the others, there's just got to be more than what there is. I'll always be there when I can. No, yeah, and I'm not trying to come at anybody, but I will just tell you, I would urge people, hey, this is going to be a fun season. I think it's going to be a fun team. I'm not sitting here guaranteeing, NCAA tournament or anything like that, but I think this is going to be a fun team to watch. There are some good pieces on this team. There are enough pieces to have a good season. Again, what's a good season? Is that making the tournament? Is that NIT? I don't know. But I think if nothing else, the entertainment value will be much higher this year than it was in years past. So put it that way. At least I certainly hope so. Of course, you got to clean up the turnovers. It was very sloppy at times, no doubt. Both sides, really. I mean, both sides. Heck, you had 22 turnovers. UAB had 15. So both teams were turning the basketball over. Both teams were turning it over. So, again, Friday, November the 19th, 2021, guys. We are taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. Phil says in the TDC Questions channel, I will be having a homemade vegan calzone for lunch today. Shout out to my old lady, Caitlin, who made them. Finally at the controls of Cock Rugby on IG and Twitter. Everyone give us a follow. Just saw Cocky eat shit at the basketball game last night. Oof. I didn't see that. I was there. I didn't see that, Phil. Travis Lee says, that was a good win last night. Followed up with another win instead of laying an egg like previous years. We have a good roster. Let's hope we can make something with it. Yeah, big game coming up next Tuesday against Wofford, the Wofford Terriers. And again, Wofford's going to come in expecting to win. I mean, bottom line, they will come in expecting to win the ball game. There's no question. Phil said he just sent it to me on Instagram. Let's see. Hopefully the volume doesn't come through here. Oh, I didn't see Cocky eat it. Wow. 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 That is. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at, right? Wow, that was bad. Oof. Big oof. Hey, and we still found a way to win. And we still found a way to win, Phil. Overcoming adversity. That's what it's all about. Overcoming adversity. Love that. Brian Dean says it'll be tough sledding against Auburn. When the smoke is clear, your final. South Carolina 28, Auburn 17. Brian Dean, I love the pick. Love the pick, guys. Again, drop your predictions. Would love to hear how do you think tomorrow night's going to go. Again, I'm locked in with my score. Again, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 540, talking the UAB game last night, and, of course, locking in my prediction for tomorrow night's game. On the football side, like I told you guys, I'm confident. I'm confident. I feel – I don't know if I'm just giddy because we have a night game at home, but I feel good about the game. But, again, I think both these teams are going to try to win this game in a very similar fashion. Run the football, stop the run, win at the point of attack. Don't ask your quarterback to do too much. I think the game plan is going to be very similar on both sides. And it's just, who do I trust more to execute said game plan? Right? It's really, really hard. It's really hard for me to predict the Gamecocks to run the football effectively and to stop the run consistently enough against Tank Biggs. Because, again, guys, outside of the Florida game, that hasn't happened. And you look at Florida, I mean, that's the exception, not the rule. And why was that the exception? Well, look what they did against Samford. I mean, I think it's become very clear, very evident that Florida has just mailed it in on this season. So, can the Gamecocks move the pile against a team that has not quit on the year? Again, the wild card in this game is this. The overall morale of the Auburn football team, coming off of back-to-back losses, a terrible, abysmal loss last weekend at home. If they've got a hangover from that one and they haven't bounced back, that could play a huge role in the ball game. But just executing the game plan, I think the Gamecocks will play much better football, like I said, at home. You got to eliminate the stupid turnovers. You got to get out of your own way. I mean, I could see it going either way. I really could. I picked this as a win in the preseason, but I picked it at 38-27. I thought by this point you'd be clicking on, all cylinders offensively. And safe to say that's not necessarily the case. It's not necessarily the case with a third-string quarterback and an offensive line that can't block a soul. So, it'll all come down to that. Again, I know that's the boring take, guys. I understand that's boring. It'd be more fun if we were talking about the quarterback or the receivers or the running back, but it all comes down to the offensive line. I think of this team, if you can just somewhat block, just give Jason Brown some time, and you got a great shot. I think you can execute the game plan, but Auburn with a bunch of great pass rushers. They've got really good football players up front. I think it's going to be tough. You go down the list of Auburn pass rushers: 5 sacks, 4 sacks, 7 sacks, 3 sacks, 7 sacks. It's just like they've got guys up front that'll give South Carolina problems. And again, for that reason, that's why I'm picking Auburn to get the W. So again, I got 24-20 Tigers. That sounds nasty coming out of my mouth. But again, I got 24-20 Auburn. Would love to hear from you guys how you think the game's going to go. Again, guys, we're about to jump on with Diddy of ESPN Upstate. My good friend Diddy. We'll be broadcasting that right here. Broadcasting that conversation right here. He's going to call in. Again, we'll air it just like a normal call. But really excited on ESPN Upstate. So again, on my Upstate Gamecocks, you want to check out our conversation. If you want to tune in on radio, you can, or just stay right here for that convo. We'll be expecting his call any moment now. Let's see. Bruce Atkins, what's going on? No relation to Greg Atkins, correct? Not a good place for you if that's the case. Let's see. J-Rock Media, whether or not this offense can perform will depend on if Satterfield can pull his head out of his rear end. Well, J-Rock, you're going to put it all on Sat. Can we block? Can we block J-Rock Media? Can we just block? Half the time, I don't know if it's a good play call or not because we can't block longer than 2 seconds. So, falls on all parties. Yeah, you need a good offensive game plan, no question, but you got to block. You got to hold a block. If your guys are getting blown by, you have no chance. Owen Turner says, as much as I hate to say it, I think Bobo and Tank will be huge issues for the Gamecocks tomorrow. It's a fair take. I mean, you just gave up 200 rushing yards to Tyler Beatty. Tank Bigsby's a pretty good running back. So that's why I was so shocked. His over-under total was 74.5 or whatever. I really was surprised. Really was surprised. But I think what they're thinking is the Gamecocks will come home and, again, play better football. Again, waiting on my buddy Diddy's call from ESPN Upstate. Should be coming in any moment now. He said 12:20, so he's running a little bit behind. It's all good. I understand how it goes in radio. He just tweeted, man, oh man, do I love doing live radio. So maybe something happened. Who knows? Maybe something happened. I don't know. We will see. In the meantime, let's get back to your questions. John Gibbs says, I think this is going to be like the Georgia-Clemson game, low scoring for the sake of home night atmosphere. I'm going Auburn 14, Carolina 17. Y'all throw me off when you put the loser score first. He's going South Carolina 17-14 winners over Auburn. The game's going to be tight. I agree it's going to be a close game. 17-14, little low scoring, I think, but Brian Dean says Auburn will still be hungover after giving up a 28-3 lead to Mississippi State and will be looking past us towards Alabama. You really think they're going to be looking past us after losing 2 straight games? All right, here we go. Hey, this is Chris.
Hey, Chris, this is Lonzo, ESPN Upstate.
Yeah,
we set up an interview with you?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Nothing much. We've got a little less than a minute. Did he be right with you? Hang on.
All right, sounds good.
So we can tailor their portfolio.
This is very cool that I'm gonna mute him real quick. This is very cool that we actually get to jump on this and you guys can hear it as well. So again, we're on ESPN Upstate with my good friend Diddy, talking Gamecocks and Auburn. Of course, we might even talk some basketball. I'd have to think so. But yeah, should be good. So.
It means we're there for and always put their interest first.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, our fees are transparent, structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching.
So Cody, the mic volume will go up once I actually jump on the air, I believe. So hopefully that's the case.
Greenville Pickens Speedway. Drive through a nighttime Christmas wonderland as 32 million colors set the sky ablaze, synchronized to the music of your favorite holiday classics. UpstateLights.com. Showing the Ron Brown lockdown on Twitter. Tweet at The Ron Brown Show on the Upstate Sports Leader, ESPN Upstate.
Whole lot of ups and downs in the world of Gamecocks athletics these days. Helping us to give sort of a State of the Union address to Gamecock Nation is the host of the Spurs Up Show. He is Chris Phillips. You can follow him on Twitter at the Spurs Up Show to get all of the Gamecock content. Chris, welcome to the Diddy Takeover once again.
Diddy, what's going on, my man? Great to hear from you again, and glad to be talking with you, man.
Oh, absolutely. And a ton to talk about when it comes to the Gamecocks right now with everything going on. We're going to start with the men's team on the hardwood. So far, Frank Martin's squad, 3-1 on the season to start. Tough loss, bad loss last week to Princeton, but 2-0 at home after last night's win over UAB. What have you seen so far from this Gamecocks men's hoop squad, and are you hopeful for a good 2021, or should we kind of limit some expectations or really have low expectations coming into this year?
Yeah, it's funny, Diddy. I was not high on this ball club coming into the season. The last 3 seasons before this, when I had picked South Carolina to make the NCAA tournament, because we kept hearing year after year after year, this was Frank Martin's best squad. It's the Final Four run, and it really just never came to fruition. And, of course, we all know what happened last year, the disappointment that was with the COVID stuff and whatever. But coming into this year, it's funny, Diddy, going to the exhibition in the first game, you looked around and said, who are these guys? Because outside of Jermaine Kusnar, Willens Levesque, a brand new look squad, I think you had 9 or 10 new players on this team from the transfer portal, and you added some freshmen as well. But last night was a lot of fun, man. Last night was a lot of fun. It's a group trying to come together and sort of find the pieces and fit those together. But you can see the talent. A huge win last night over UAB. UAB, a really high-quality team that I think will be coached by Andy Kennedy. I think a team that will be at least on the bubble or in the NCAA tournament. So that was a really, really good win. A lot of fun to watch. Guys like Eric Stevenson, Devin Carter, James Reese, those new pieces coming together. And then, of course, you have your guys, Jermaine Kusnar. I thought Wildens Levesque down low played an incredible game. And my biggest takeaway, Diddy, from last night is that I think the pieces are actually there to have a good season. Again, I set my expectations very low just because of, a brand new team and you lost so much. And it's like, again, how quickly can those pieces gel? And also the SEC. SEC basketball is unlike we've ever seen before with the quality of teams you play, and the schedule this year was not kind to the Gamecocks. But the pieces are there, I think, to have a really, really good year. You saw Eric Stevenson get hot, the transfer from Washington, leading your team with points with 15. Willens Levesque down low, big impact. James Reese went on an 8-0 run by himself. Devin Carter, Devin the highlight reel Carter, making a name for himself with 12 points. So, I don't know if the NCAA tournament's quite a possibility for this team or the NIT or sort of where they'll end up. But I do think, Diddy, this is going to be a fun team to watch. And the question is just simply going to be, can the pieces come together quickly enough? Can this team continue to gel? Obviously, last night you get the win, but a lot to clean up, of course, with turnovers. You had 22 turnovers, but you're able to muck the game up just enough and play good defense again against a UAB squad that's one of the best scoring teams in the country. So last night, make no mistake, was a fantastic win. I came in that game last night, Diddy, thinking to myself, this is a big swing game for the South Carolina basketball season, because that loss to Princeton, and who knows, Princeton might end up a tournament team, but it really left a sour taste in my mouth when you lose a game to a team that literally didn't have a season last year. I mean, they didn't play a single game. So you think to yourself, God, where are we at? Just what are we doing? Frank Martin, a very pivotal year for his job status, I think, at South Carolina, because, if you miss the tournament, you miss the postseason in year 10 of his tenure. We all like Frank Martin, but you're going to have to take a step back and say, okay, what are we doing? Is this the best possible thing for the University of South Carolina's basketball program? But that was a huge win last night. I think early in the season, non-conference win. You play Wofford on Tuesday now upcoming, and that'll be your last game without Keyshawn Bryant. That's something huge to keep in mind. You're doing all this without arguably your best player on the floor. So there's a lot of young, inexperienced pieces, and at times it's definitely looked like a team of new guys that are trying to figure it all out and come together. But there's a lot of talent. I think there's a lot of fun pieces in this group. And again, that was the most fun, Diddy. I was in the building. That was the most fun I've had watching Gamecocks basketball and being in CLA in a long, long time. The energy was just different. It looked like a team starting to have some fun. Of course, it's a lot more fun when the shots start falling, but a huge early season win, I think, for Frank Martin's team. And, I don't know. It really just depends on how quickly these pieces come together and can they be consistent contributors night after night after night. But I think this is actually going to be a really fun team to watch this year. And, last night's win certainly provides us a jolt of optimism moving forward early in this season.
Chris Phillips of the Spurs Up Show with us on ESPN Upstate. You kind of alluded to it a little bit when it comes to Frank Martin and his job here with South Carolina. How important is this season to his future with this program, and how hot would his seat get if this is not a good season this year?
Well, I think it's massively important. And again, it's the conversation that I think nobody wants to have because, Diddy, I have a pretty good feel on the pulse of the fan base and their overall thoughts. And, let's just call it for what it is. The expectations for Gamecocks men's basketball are very, very low. And I think one of the big reasons is because South Carolina, outside of a couple great years under Frank McGuire, what have you, have not had a lot of success historically. But, you have to start to question, okay, if you don't have a good year this year and you miss the postseason, you've gone to one postseason, one NCAA tournament in 10 years. And I understand it was a Final Four. And Frank Martin, I actually feel Diddy for Frank Martin a little bit because no matter how this season goes, Frank, I went to the welcome home tour over the summer when Shane Beamer spoke, and he was also there. And, he continues to speak on and harp on their 10-year record and their SEC record the last 4 years. And, he has a point. Those things are all great. But Diddy, you know as well as I, the only thing that fans care about is making the NCAA tournament. That's the entire point of the season, right? We all go through the college basketball season just to get to March Madness. So the bottom line is this. You can win a bunch of nice SEC games. You can have this record, that record, what have you. But the bottom line is if you don't make the postseason this year, you've made the tournament one time in 10 years. The question is that good enough? Again, I'm not ready to be leading some Fire Frank Martin train or anything like that. But, I just want to know what are the clear-cut expectations for Gamecocks basketball on a year-in, year-out basis. I see the potential in this program. I think this can be a program, and we all understand the challenges of recruiting and, football is king at USC. That's something Frank Martin has said over and over, but I think there's potential there. I think you can be a team. Clemson has shown what they've done in a much tougher conference, by the way. I think you can be a program that can make the NCAA tournament 3 to 4 times every 10 years. I don't think that's asking an astronomical lot. I know it's never been done before, but if you never raise the bar for expectations, then it will never happen. So, does he have to make the NCAA tournament to keep his job? I'm not going to say yes, just because I think Frank Martin is so well liked by the fan base and the administration, and he's a really, really good basketball coach. The question's not, is Frank Martin a good basketball coach? The question is, does his style of coaching still work? Do players still respond to it? Can you go recruit the type of athletes you need on a year-in, year-out basis that want to play? Not everybody wants to play for his type of style. Not everybody wants to play for a disciplinarian. And you can talk about today's athlete and say, oh, they're soft and this, that. But here's the reality, Diddy. If you can't recruit today's athlete and you can't coach today's athlete, then you can't coach at this level. So that, to me, is the biggest question. Again, they responded well last night. It's going to be a long season. I said after last year, getting to the tournament is paramount for this season. We'll see what happens. I don't know that necessarily he has to do that, but you got to show some sign of progress. You got to show some sign of life, because the biggest problem you have right now is a lot of Gamecock fans just aren't excited for Carolina basketball anymore, and that's a darn shame. So you got to bring that excitement back in the building, and last night was a good first step in doing that.
Well, before we get to football, let's go to the other side of the basketball team, the team that doesn't have anything to prove, and a coach that obviously already has basically a Hall of Fame status when it comes to the University of South Carolina. The domination continues for the women's team in 2021. Blew out Clemson the other night, blew out South Dakota before that, and had that huge win over number 5 NC State to start the season. Is this team already setting up to finish the job that 2019-2020 team had robbed of them from the COVID shutdown?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's national championship or bust for Dawn Staley's squad, and I mean that obviously in the most positive way possible. When you have the type of success that Dawn has, and that's just the expectation, right? Nothing else will satisfy this fan base. Of course, last year you get to the Final Four and lose to Stanford in heartbreaking fashion, but it's just an embarrassment of riches this year, Diddy, for Dawn Staley. You talk about returning your entire roster. You add an all-ACC player from Syracuse and Carmelo Cardoso, and then you add the number 1 recruiting class in the entire country. I know you lost Raven Johnson for the season, but they are just loaded across the board. Of course, players like Zaya Cook and Aaliyah Boston leading the way, but again, you've got that young talent as well for the number 1 recruiting class. So, I think the question now, Diddy, turns to, and I don't want to be too aggressive with it because you have really, really tough games left against teams like Maryland and UConn and stuff like that. But could this team run the table? Really, I don't think that's too bold to say that possibly this team, at minimum, they might lose a game, maybe 2, but there's not a game on the schedule. I look out the rest of the way and say, well, that's probably one they should lose. No, you're the number 1 team in the country for the reason. I think they could go wire to wire and win the entire thing. And I think certainly, after the way last year ended, like you mentioned, having the year prior robbed from them being number 1, probably we're going to win the national championship that year. I think this team will be on a mission. I think there's a chip on their shoulder, and I just don't see anybody standing in Dawn Staley in this team's way. So there's tons of talent, and I predict them in the preseason to get the job done this year. And what other prediction could you give this team? Who's going to beat them? The Gamecocks are the new standard in women's college basketball. They've taken over. Again, that game against UConn will be the one we've all got circled looking forward to. In the SEC slate, I think there's some challenging matchups there, but the expectations for Dawn Staley's program, they are clear-cut. Win the national championship. And, again, that's just a testament to the program she's built on a year-in, year-out basis. So it's obviously going to be a fun year to watch. You look at what they did Wednesday in a dominating win over your arch rival, which is ho-hum at this point, no big deal. But, Now, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And again, they've got all the pieces there to, I think, again, go wire to wire as the number one team in the country and eventually hoist the trophy when we get to late April, if you will.
Host of the Spurs Up Show, Chris Phillips, with us here on the Diddy Takeover of the Rob Brown Show. All right, we got to get to football, obviously, before we get out of here. Three-leg stretch of Tiger games. Obviously, the first leg went really bad, went not as planned at all, suffering that terrible loss up at Missouri last week. Now Auburn and Clemson to finish the season. How should Gamecock fans really be feeling right now heading into these last 2 weeks against two teams that they will basically be the underdog against?
Yeah, it's been funny that he kind of evaluating the overall morale of Gamecock fans this week. I think it's improved as we've gone on. Obviously, the Missouri game was extremely disappointing, and you missed a great opportunity to sort of parlay that positive momentum you had after the Florida game and notch your sixth win and get the bowl eligibility. I think it's improved as the season has gone on. You know, I've been joking all week. I don't know if I'm just giddy because the Gamecocks have back-to-back night games at home or what have you. But, you know, I look at this Auburn game, and again, last week was abysmal. It was a terrible loss. You know, Auburn also, by the way, let's point out, coming off an abysmal loss of their own when they led 28-3 against Mississippi State, which what a curse score that is. But led 28-3 and lost on it really, truly lost 28-3 and then lost on their home field to Mississippi State, and then they lose their starting quarterback in Bo Nix for the season. But this game tomorrow, so many incredible storylines with Mike Bobo, TJ Finley taking over at quarterback, who played for LSU last year when he torched the Gamecocks in Baton Rouge. Of course, Tank Bigsby. You know, the overall morale of these teams. There's just so many different storylines. And, hey, the rematch factor. You beat this team last year. You know, I say the same thing going into this one that I said last year. This Auburn team doesn't scare me. You know, 6-4 in their first year under Brian Harsin. He's a quality coach, but this team as a whole, I think it's a matchup. I do expect it to be a really, really close game, a back-and-forth game. You know, we all had high hopes after the Florida game that maybe South Carolina had found something and maybe the bye week had served them well. But I think watching Florida last week against Samford, I think we start to realize that, you know, Florida was the exception, not the rule. And obviously it looks like the Gators have mailed it in on this 2021 season. But, you know, I think South Carolina fans, sort of like last week, are cautiously optimistic. Again, you get a team without their starting quarterback under the lights on your home field. That provides a lot of reason to be optimistic, Diddy. And I tell you what, I look at this Auburn game a lot like I looked at the Florida game in the sense of, you know, everything you could ask for in regards to the stars aligning, if you will, they sort of have. You know what I mean? They sort of are. So, you know, I don't think Auburn has quit on the season like Florida did, but you have to like your chances at home at night. I think the Gamecocks will play much, much better football. Now, with that being said, I've gone on record and picked Auburn to win the game 24-20 because I think both these teams, Eddie, are going to want to win this game in a very similar fashion. They're going to want to run the football. They're going to want to take the pressure off their quarterbacks, play opportunistic defense. And this is going to be a line of scrimmage game. I know people get bored when I say that week after week after week. We'd much rather talk quarterbacks, receivers, you know, defensive backs, whatever. But it's all about the trenches and who wins in the trenches. And for South Carolina, especially in this game, that's going to be at a premium. Who do I trust more to do that on a more consistent basis and execute that game plan? I got to say the Auburn Tigers right now. I think they've got talent up front on both sides. And Tank Bigsby, obviously, again, a fantastic running back. You know, a week after you give up over 200 yards to Tyler Beatty and you're running for 1.6 yards per carry against basically the worst rush defense in all of college football, it's hard to put that faith back in the Gamecocks and say they're going to look anything like they looked a few weeks ago when they rushed for 284 yards and stymied the Florida running game. So going to be really interesting. Again, which team shows up? Is it the closer version of the one we saw against Florida or more of the same from this previous weekend against Mizzou? Going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Definitely hoping for the Florida one.
Right.
He is Chris Phillips, host of the Spurs Up Show. You can follow, again, his Gamecock coverage on Twitter at the Spurs Up Show. Chris, thanks again for joining me, man.
Diddy, appreciate you, my man. Anytime.
Great stuff there from Chris.
Good stuff. Okay, that was Diddy of ESPN Upstate. I know Tony Sharp just commented, call-in folks' volume is low. I apologize. That's their volume. There's not much I can do about that in regards to turning it up. But either way, really appreciate our good friend Diddy. Really appreciate our good friend Diddy for reaching out. Had a really, really good time chatting with him. And, yeah, great way to start that Friday, by the way. Great way to start that Friday. Again, guys, want to continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Brian Dean says, shut down Tank and make Finley beat you. I agree. Savannah Webster last night was a solid win, according to a few people who know men's basketball better than me. Yeah, very solid, Savannah. UAB is a tournament team, no question. Andy Kennedy coached team, so a very well-coached team, a good basketball team. That was a good win. That was a great win early in this season, one that I think you obviously needed to have. So great win by Frank Martin and those guys. Great win. Let's see. J-Rock Media says, I'm not blaming everything on Satterfield, but you have to get it right from a coaching standpoint before you focus on player deficiencies. The plane can't stay in the air if the pilot is nosediving. Well, I'd rather have great ingredients than a great chef. So, you know, it takes everyone, J-Rock. It takes everyone. That's all I'm saying. You got to go execute, too. We got to go block, guys. Bottom line. Courtney Washington says, Chris, what's your thoughts on Eric Stevenson saying was the reason for UAB coming back and making it close? What did he say, Courtney? I think you missed a word in there. So, let's see. Courtney Washington says, I don't think we beat UConn 3 times. I'll say 2 or not 3. Only time will tell, Courtney. Hey, we're going to jump into our first break, guys. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Want to continue to hear from you. Your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Guys, more of your questions, comments, calls as well. On the other side of the break, you're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, as well as we chat here on this Friday. Guys, a quick reminder, if you have not done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 540, as I break down everything that happened last night at CLA. Gamecocks getting a huge win over the UAB Blazers. Also, of course, I lock in my official prediction as South Carolina gets set to do battle tomorrow night against the Auburn Tigers. Again, I want to take a moment to say thank you yet again to my good friend Diddy of ESPN Upstate. Always a pleasure to chat with him. In case you missed that conversation, guys, you can watch later or go back earlier in the Daily Crow and listen. Great 15 to 20-minute conversation with Diddy. So, again, it's really funny, guys. We are at the point. We are at the point in the season and the point in content. Hey, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Super chat from Phil. Yeah, if you want to donate to the show, support the business, support the content, support everything we do, you can through Super Chat, Super Stickers, everything else. You guys know the drill. But what I was saying is we're at the point in the season with content and predictions and all that good stuff. And again, I will be careful with my words here. But we're to the point where, you know, you have to understand streaks, right? And you have to understand picks and the way making a prediction is an art form, right? So we're at the point now where what I pick, it seems the opposite happens. So with that being said, I have locked in my prediction. I've got the Auburn Tigers beating the Gamecocks 24-20. So do with that information what you will. Do with that information what you will. I have got the Gamecocks falling tomorrow night 24-20. I do think it's going to be a very close back and forth game. Again, guys, it just all comes down to. It all comes down to that line of scrimmage. It really does. Again, I know that's boring. That's not the fun take, but that's what it's going to come down to. Who can we trust on a more consistent basis to win at the point of attack? Brad 757 to the TDC Questions channel says, who wins the turnover battle tomorrow night? That's another huge thing. Who wins the turnover battle? Right? Can the Gamecocks, on their home field defensively, can they be opportunistic yet again? I will say I do respect some of you guys' optimism. I know my good buddy Eric Fryer, picking South Carolina to win by, I think, 21 points again. I respect it. At this point, all I can say is I respect it. That is, you have more faith than I, good sir. You have more faith than I. Nan Martin says, we're at home and we will win by 3. Yeah, I do want to hear from you guys, though. I want to hear your predictions. Call in, text in, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. SEC Football 2 says, never pick us to win in basketball. Again, you're on to something, LOL. Again, like I said, SEC Football 2, making predictions is an art form, but what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do when we play like Ryder? You know what I mean? Like, am I really going to pick Ryder to win? I can't do that. Tano Land says, most of the time, who can win the battle up front wins the game. And I do agree. I do agree. Again, it's one of those things. I'll tell you this, Tanner. It's one of those things when the blocking up front is fine, then keys to the game and things you have to do are all different, right? Like, it's almost something when the line's doing their job, you don't talk about them. We don't think about it, right? We don't think about it. If the offensive line's blocking and you're running the football and whatever, the key to the game's not block, because it's like, well, we already do that. So what else do we have to do to win? But when you're not doing that, everything else revolves around that.
Chris.
All right, let's jump to the phone lines here. And they hung up. All right, cool. If you want to call back in, you're more than welcome. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Tim Dorn says, Ryder could beat us. No win is guaranteed when it comes to Frank's teams. I guess you have a point there. SC Football 2, I have a funny feeling about this game and the Clemson game. Funny feeling. What does that mean to you? Jeff Gullich says they've done studies. 60% of the time it works every time. You're right. 60% of the time works every time. Ronnie Pace, you notice the jersey, the throwback. I figured why not? Basketball wore vintage garnets last night. I saw this in my closet and was like, you know what? Why not? I don't know exactly whose jersey this is, but I mean, Thomas Dindy, Rob DeBoer, it's somebody. I don't. It's one of those two, I'd have to imagine. So, yeah, there's no last name on it, obviously. So, but an absolutely sick jersey. I saw it at the Thread Affair event that I sponsored a couple weeks ago, and was like, man, I got to snag it. Guys, I bought this jersey for $1. $1. Townsend Hamilton says that funny feeling is a big crap we're going to take on the field both weeks. Let's hope not. Again, man, great Friday to have a Friday. Going to have one hell of a weekend in the city. Just for those who are curious, we're going to be out at the Senate tonight, concert at Tin Roof in the Senate. Going to be a really good time. You guys want to swing by? Why not? Pat Cooper, support my guy Pat Cooper. Going to be a blast. So looking forward to it. So we're going to have us a good night tonight. Going to have us one hell of a day tomorrow at the TSUS tailgate. Spots 93 to 96. Spots 93 to 96. Would love to have you guys come out. Would love to have you guys come to the tailgate. Going to be a really, really good time. We get rowdy. Let's see. Phil says the number of transfers on Frank's team is wild. Can barely recognize any of the players. Yeah, it's a whole new look team, dude. It's a whole new look team. So, let's see. Travis says, get that Bernie's chicken. Yeah. Yes, let's do it. Townsend Hamilton says, with God, all things are possible there, SEC football too. Indeed. Come on. Let's see. We got a text here on the text line. Says, I feel like this game will be sloppy on both sides, at least 5 to 6 penalties by both sides. I could also see 2 turnovers by both teams. Field position will also be big in this one. I think it comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes and can run the ball. Final score prediction, Auburn 20, South Carolina 17. Again, the over-under total in this game, 44.5. I think Vegas nailed it, which is why I stayed away from the total. I do think Gamecocks plus 6.5 is a safe bet. I think it's a very close back-and-forth ball game. But again, guys, it just comes down to who do you trust more up front. And after what happened last weekend at Mizzou, it's really, really hard for me to look at this Gamecocks team and say, you know what, they're going to show up, show out, and revert back to what they did against Florida, guys. I think Florida was the one-off. I think Florida was the exception. Florida was not the rule. So, Florida was the exception, not the rule. How about Corey Smith's going to be at Seager Park also? How about that? Dang, some good concerts tonight in Columbia. How about that? Daddy O says, I assume there aren't any Grove-like chandeliers at the TSUS tailgate. Not quite. Not quite, Daddy O. We're not quite that fancy. Greg Bender says, hope we win, of course, but Auburn is way better than Missouri, indeed. Phil says, more little brother syndrome from the Taters showing up in our fan chats talking about how good they are, begging for attention. Absolutely pathetic. Get fired up, Phil. Get in there, ass. Get in there, ass. Get in that ass, Phil. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, sorry, guys. Maybe I'll just do that another time. Sorry, I was trying to repost something and it just bugged out on me a little bit. Let's see. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Eric Fryer, taters equals slapdick. Any questions? Love it. I love that. You are correct, sir. You are correct. Taters will always be the slap dick of all slap dicks. The slap dicks of all slap dicks. That is a fact. As my good friend Phil Harris would say, that's a fact, Jack. That is a fact. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. The sister throwing up the super chat. Appreciate you, sis. Thank you. How about that? Much big fam love. Big fam love right there. Appreciate you, sis. I'll give you a call after this. Again, 843-790-3377. Guys, like I want to continue to hear from you. Like I said, want to continue to hear from you. Your thoughts, your predictions. Hey, reactions to last night's big win in men's basketball. Hey, the women are in the Bahamas right now, by the way. They played, tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night. Unfortunate they play the same time as the football game because obviously, I think everybody's going to be pretty locked into football. But, they'll take care of business big time. Might even play UConn again or might play UConn in that tournament. So, might play UConn. Jeff Gullidge, I've said it all week, concerned about this game. We need to come out swing. The offensive line has to play outstanding. The defense needs to score. I feel we fall short, but I have hope we will get win number 6. That's fair. Daddy O says, Taters got their own damn hands full tomorrow. Better be worried about the Demon Deacons. Indeed. Clemson Tigers says, you know what's more pathetic? You have to escape football by watching women's basketball, which none of you truly care about. Did y'all care about women's basketball in 10-14? No. You know, Clemson Tigers, that is a typical response and a typical comment. Have you ever thought maybe just Carolina fans support all their teams across the board, no matter what? I mean, just maybe, right? Just ignorant. Ignorant comment. It's just an ignorant comment. It is what it is. Not surprised. Ernest Harrison said need to get and keep the crowd in the game like Florida by scoring early and putting pressure on a fragile Auburn after they blew a 25-point lead last week. Again, I agree with you. I think that's the wild card in this ball game is just what type of morale does Florida have? Or excuse me, not Florida, Auburn. You mentioned Florida, my bad. What's the morale of Auburn? What's the morale of them? So I think that's definitely an interesting part of this ballgame. I mean, there's so many storylines in this game. So, from Mike Bobo to Tank Bigsby to TJ Finley taking over. How can South Carolina bounce back? How will South Carolina bounce back? It's going to be interesting. Going to be very, very, very interesting for sure. Eric Fryer says, what's pathetic is Clem Sucks fans having to tune in here instead of their own show, which is probably done with cans, string, and hosted in a barn. Yeah, there must not be good Clemson content. You know what's funny? Doing what I do, too. Maybe it'll happen this year after Carolina beats Clemson. I've always thought, man, it would be fun for the Spurs Up show to have like a rival show, like a show that is for the rival that we go back and forth. Doesn't exist. Clemson content sucks. Courtney, it's a jersey. It's a legit jersey. So I appreciate the love, though. This jersey is fire. Cody Gaskin says, or first see list. Twan Love Kick says 35-14 Auburn. Cody Gaskin says, shouldn't you be shoveling horse shit or milking cows? I love that. Ronnie Pace is honestly, Frank and the guys can keep building momentum. Losing some of these non-conference games have kept us out of the tournament in the past. Yeah, again, that was a huge win last night. No other way to put it, that was a huge win. Huge win for the prospects this season. Clemson Tiger says, perhaps, but I didn't see any Gamecocks hark on women's basketball when Connor Shaw was on your team. That's my point. You didn't start following them until they were good. Just facts. I mean, dude, I don't even think social media was popping off like that in 2012. I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, I didn't have a show then. So, I don't know, my guy. I don't know. John Gibbs, tell Clem sucks taters if it wasn't for football, their university would shut down. We may be lousy in football, but we're a diverse sports university, meaning we're good or decent in many. Yes, Clem sucks doesn't have what you have, and they are highly jealous. Indeed. Let's see. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. I'll tell you what, if Clem Sucks Tigers is this entertaining during this week, I can't even fathom what next week is going to look like. I can't even fathom it. Can't even fathom what next week's going to look like. And I'll tell you what, next week is going to be very, very, very interesting. For sure. But again, we got a game first tomorrow night. Gamecocks taking on the Auburn Tigers. I'm excited. Maybe I'm just giddy because it's a night game. I'm excited for the tailgate. Got my homies from Tin Roof coming by. Going to be a really good time at the TSUS tailgate because I'm telling you right now, yeah, going to be a good time. Clemson Tigers just don't throw trash this time, although it would be the most hilarious thing to see your ugly ass cheerleaders and band running for their lives. Wow, going after the cheerleaders now. Clemson Tigers, I'll be sure to bring the mustard and golf balls, and I'll get everybody else to bring the batteries. So we'll make it rain down on Dabo's dumbass. We'll make it rain down. Yeah, for sure. I'll be grabbing a Clemson baby and throwing it off the upper deck. You know, just typical Williams-Brice things. So, for sure. Caden Gibson, could you see Kusnar coming off the bench as the Youngtown emerges? I don't think so. I think he's a veteran leader for your team. I know he only had 7 points last night, but I still think Jermaine Kusnar is a very important piece for this team. No doubt. Jeff Gullidge, on my way home yesterday on the radio, they had Auburn head coach breaking down our team. The one thing that stood out to me, he said, looking at the film, this team, meaning the Gamecocks, is getting better every week. It shows in the film. That was refreshing to hear. Well, I tell you this, Jeff, coaches are going to be complimentary. I mean, you're not going to give your opponent any sort of bulletin board material by saying anything outlandish or out of the ordinary. But, again, I know last week sucked. I get it. Last week was last week. This is a new week. Who knows? At home, maybe you can rekindle some of that magic from the Florida game. Who knows? Clemson Tigers will got the trash you guys are talking. I'll definitely show up next week, and I'll definitely be back after we whoop the chicken ass again. I hope you're back, man. It'll be a fun week for sure. Again, we got to take care of business tomorrow night. We got a big one tomorrow night, but it'll be a fun week, no doubt. I'm almost tempted to go live on Thanksgiving Day. Like, truly. Just do like a little hour-long check-in. I don't know. I think I'm going to let everybody have Thanksgiving and do their thing. But I don't know, man. I'm fired up for sure. Let's see. Twan Love Kick says, Wake may kick y'all's ass tomorrow. I love how this, it's crazy. We've all got games tomorrow. Clemson and Carolina got games tomorrow, but we got fans just going at it for the rivalry. It never stops, man. It never stops. Bottom line, it never stops. So, really, really good stuff. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, like I said, I'm locked in. I've got the Gamecocks falling to the Auburn Tigers by a final score of 24-20. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game, really close game, intense game, exciting game. I just think at the end of the day, I look at this game. Who do I trust more at the line of scrimmage? Who do I trust more at the point of attack right now? Again, You got to trust your eyes. You got to trust your brain. And all signs point to, again, that South Carolina, that was a one-off. That was an exception, not the rule against Florida. And that, because you think about it, guys, the Gamecocks haven't been able to run against anyone all season long outside of a Florida team that it looks like they've quit. So there's nothing that tells me that you're going to be able to run the football consistently enough and protect your quarterback to win the ball game. I hope I'm wrong. I think I could be wrong, guys. I mean, again, Auburn doesn't scare me. Auburn doesn't scare me in the slightest. They don't. This is just like last year. Auburn doesn't scare me in the slightest. And Tim Dorn says, Chris, but it's Bobo. I understand who it is. I get that it's Bobo. But I'll also say this. Hey, we all want to stick it to Mike Bobo. You think he doesn't want to stick it to us, Tim? You think he's not gearing up to call his best possible game tomorrow night? You think he likes us? He doesn't have any feelings towards us? I'm sure he does. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm sure he does. Caden Gibson says, is Parker White getting the points record this weekend? I don't think this weekend. I think against Clemson he'll get it. I mean, he could. God, he's only 9 points away. He certainly could. Honestly, I hope he doesn't. I hope we're just scoring nothing but touchdowns. So, I don't want to kick field goals. I want to score touchdowns. That'll be another huge key in this game is converting when you get in the red zone. You can't settle for field goals and win. You got to score touchdowns. So again, we'll deal with Clemson Tigers next week and next weekend when the Gamecocks take on Clemson. But for now, South going to take it on the Auburn Tigers tomorrow night at Williams-Brice Stadium. Jeff Gullich says, I'm sure Beamer wants to stick it to Bobo. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's going to be a lot of emotion tomorrow night, but I will tell you this. Once toe meets leather, it's going to come down to execution and, play on the field, being opportunistic. Those are the things that are going to matter. It's not going to come down to who dislikes who more. You know what I mean? Who dislikes who more. So, but going to be very, very interesting for sure. Going to be very, very interesting. Excited to watch it. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, your comments, your calls. Hey, your predictions, your reaction to last night, by the way, as men's basketball gets a huge win. A huge win over UAB. A big-time early season win in the non-conference for momentum. The prospects of this year. My guy, Eric Stevenson. Shooters shoot. Shooters shoot. Love it. Keep chucking them up. They'll fall eventually. Guys, again, more of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well, guys. Also would love to hear you lock in your predictions. How do you think tomorrow is going to go against Auburn? Also, of course, we're talking South Carolina basketball. The Gamecocks get a huge win last night over the UAB Blazers, and I can see the comments are going absolutely crazy. Derek McLean says, if we can't slow Tank down, we don't stand a chance. Brennan M in the TDC question channel says simply, Clemson Tigers is a slapdick. Fair enough. Yeah, I agree with you. I actually agree with you. Let's see. Breakin 70 says, hey, dude, been away for a while. No win at the offensive line does not play well like it has been all year. Breaking first thing. Great to hear from you. Yeah, I mean, it's very simple. If you can't block, if you can't move the pile, if you can at least hold your own at the point of attack, you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. Bottom line, you got to block. You got to block. Brian Dean says, stack the line to stop Tank and have a linebacker to spy Finley. Yeah, I'm sure Clayton White is going to have a good game plan put together. That's why, when people talk about TJ Finley and, oh, look what he did against you at LSU, that to me means nothing, guys. That means nothing to me. Means absolutely nothing. Completely different teams, different personnel, different coaching staff, everything. So, let's see. Coach Ford says the defense's odds will go up drastically and they get a breather from the offense. Can't be 3 and out over and over. Yeah, for sure. You're right. You can't go 3 and out consistently over and over. And, expect many good things to happen defensively. Breaking 70 says thoughts on staff changes after the season. I think there will certainly be some movement. I think there will definitely be some movement. No question. Hey, let's turn to the phone lines real quick.
Call from
Kansas Porter.
to accept.
Yo, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I noticed, by the way, when you called in, I see your number, Opelika, Alabama. Shout out Jake Bentley, former Gamecocks quarterback. How about that? What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just ran up with one of my buddies. He's a South Carolina fan. I'm a Auburn grad, and we're heading up to the game this weekend. So I'm being forced to watch the show by him. But
Yeah, you're Brad's buddy, right? You're Brad's buddy, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Tell Brad I said hello. What's going on? Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, man. It's awesome.
So I was just calling to get your input on the game this week. I was pretty excited until Bo Nix and Anders Carson got hurt. So I don't know if the game's going anyway this weekend, but I'm predicting a low-scoring 16-13 Auburn win.
16-13, you say?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, the Vegas total's over under 44.5, which, I thought it was a little low when it came out, but yeah, I think this one's going to just, as boring, like I said, as it sounds, come down to line of scrimmage. And, Tank Bigsby's ability running the football. And, I don't think they're going to ask TJ Finley to go through for 300 and win the game, if you will. It'll all come down to, can the Gamecocks hold their own up front? And after last weekend and what we've seen all season outside of the Florida game, it's really tough for me to predict that, that'll be the case tomorrow night. I think, like you said, it'll be a really, really close game. Back and forth. I've got Auburn 24-20 right now winning the game, but I could really see it going either way.
Yeah, I'm excited for the game. I came last year, but I didn't get a chance to experience with William Bryce at nighttime, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a it's a good environment for you. I'll be interested to see what the crowd turnout is like. Again, I know last weekend was disappointing for Gamecock fans, but back-to-back night games at home to close out your season. And like I said, man, it's just kind of funny to me. Like our fans clamor, all fans clamor for football all off season long. It's like, hey, I don't care what the record is. You got an opportunity to go watch your team under the lights, in some big games. So I'm hoping it'll be a good atmosphere for you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Any suggestions on bars in Columbia to check out?
What type of night are you looking for?
Something we can do some hood rat shit with crab.
Yeah, Tin Roof's fun. Tin Roof's a good time. Carolina Western Pub's a good time. Anywhere in 5 Points if you're really looking to get ratchet.
All right.
So, yeah, I'll definitely be in contact with Brad. I'll be in contact with Brad. I'll make sure I point you guys in the right direction. I mean, I'm going to be at Tin Roof tonight, so y'all more than welcome to swing by. It's, I'm not going to stay out all night or anything, but going to a concert at their venue, and then I'll be floating around there. So, yeah, we'll link up for sure. Like I said, I'll make sure I chat with Brad, and we'll make it happen.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, no, dude. Like I said, man, I hope you enjoy your weekend in Columbia, and I'm sure I'll be meeting you here soon. But really do appreciate your call.
Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks so much, man. Take care. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Let's see. Let's go back to the comments here real quick. Jeff Gullers, we have to stay out of 3 and out, or stay out of 3 third and long all game like we did against Mizzou. Yeah, we are not built to win in third and longs, no question. Daddy O says Yankees would think getting worked up over college football is absolutely stupid. That's why we still call them Yankees. Indeed. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. 843-790-3377. It's so funny. I locked in my official prediction and picked Carolina to lose, and you would think I picked us to win. You would think I'd pick us to win with all the positive reactions, and everyone is very excited that I picked us to lose the game. So, let's see. Clemson Tiger says, Chris, is an old thing you used to do called reading mean tweets. You should bring that back. Yeah, I did that very briefly, and then I just thought to myself, I just hated bringing so much attention to the negativity. It was a way for me when I first moved here to laugh at it, but I don't know. I didn't like bringing all the attention to the negativity, if you will. So. Let's see. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Caden Gibbs says it's a fade C Philly type of week. Indeed, like I said, we're at that point. I think we are at that point in the season, and just making content and predictions and all that good stuff. We're at that point. Fade C Philly.
Call from. To accept,
all right, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Send a voice.
Yo, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, it's Robbie. I forgot to say my name.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good. What's up, Robbie? How are you, man?
Right as I was about to say my name, I burped. So I was like, oh, crap.
All's good. All's good. All good.
But I just wanted to say I'm very proud of the basketball team from last night. And I'm really excited for tomorrow. Only thing is, my mom's side of the family we have our Thanksgiving thing Saturday. Hopefully I'm home before 7, because if I'm not home before 7, I'm not going to be a happy camper. Because I do not want to miss the game tomorrow night. But I just want to, obviously, there's no denying that this football team plays hard. Okay, there's no denying that. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we've played hard all season. I haven't
The
seen
only
an ounce of quit
the
or
only
yeah.
thing that we have struggled with that I've seen is the execution part of it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that we're playing hard. But
Mhm.
one thing that I have noticed all season is that we have not executed. And a team that doesn't execute 9 times out of 10 does not win.
Mhm.
And I think that if we can get those problems down, at least in these last 2 games of the season, we can win tomorrow night and next week. But like I've said, we're going to focus on tomorrow, and then come Monday, we can focus on that god-awful team in the upstate.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just human nature. I know a lot of people are looking ahead to, even just Sunday, to start to turn the attention to rivalry week and all that. But, yeah, it would really make rivalry week really sweet if you were coming off of a win. Really would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I look at it also this way. Just because we beat them last year does not mean we're going to beat them this year. Okay?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
But could we beat them again this year? Yes, we could. Because like I said the other day, someone's going to walk out with a loss and someone's going to walk out with a W. And who's it going to be? We don't know. Me and you, along with probably several thousand other people, want it to be Carolina.
Right.
And some people want it to be Auburn. But somebody is walking out of that stadium tomorrow night either very happy or very upset.
That is a fact.
And sports teaches you that life is not always a bed of roses.
Right.
But I just think I just like I've said, I think we have played hard in every single game that we've played, even though the A&M game was an absolute shellacking. We were out coached, I think, in that one. But in every other game besides that one, I can tell that we have played hard in every single game.
Yeah, no, we have. We have, absolutely.
If we win the turnover, if we capitalize on the turnover battle the next 2 weeks, we'll get W's. But the thing is, we got to cause the turnovers and capitalize off of them.
Yep, got to execute. Bottom line, yeah, you got to execute. That's what it comes down to.
And I just think that I'm just ready for Saturday. I'm probably going to be in a food coma for a couple of hours tomorrow, which that wouldn't bother me none whatsoever. But my prediction also my prediction for the Clemson game I gave you the other day, 35-28 Wake Forest. Go Deeks.
Love it. Go Deeks, indeed.
And of course, 28-20 South Carolina is my prediction for tomorrow. All right, you have a great Thanksgiving and you stay safe, okay?
Robbie, you do the same, man. I appreciate you calling in as always. Thank you.
Yep.
Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. So Aaron Thompson says, Robbie for game day analyst. Hey, why not? Why not? I'm game with it. Why not? It's always so funny, by the way, which this is not meant in like a a negative way necessarily, but whenever people say like we play hard, whatever, it reminds me of National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, where Clark Griswold hangs up all the lights or whatever, and they don't work. the family's outside or whatever. But he hangs up all the lights, and the in-laws, were talking whatever smack, and his daughter says, Grandpa, he worked really hard. And his response is, so do washing machines. So when people say, we play hard, we're working hard, it's like, well, so do washing machines. What's your point? I don't mean, it is, again, I don't mean that about our team. It's just it's just funny. I don't know why that comes to my mind, but it's like, yeah, we work hard. So do washing machines. Cool. So I don't know, just the way my brain's wired. UGA Go Dog says, go Gamecocks. Yeah, I know you're probably pulling for us with the Georgia-Auburn rivalry factor. How does it feel, UGA Go Dogs, to have Georgia Tech as your rival? That is the farthest thing from a rivalry. Truly. When's the last? I know Tech has beaten Georgia for sure, but I don't know, man. That is such a one-sided. I guess you could look at the Carolina Clemson rivalry of late and say the same thing, but I don't know, man. It's just Georgia wins 7 games for every one that Tech wins. Although they did win both in 14 and 17, but they have been blowouts the last couple of years. I don't know. Ernest Harrison makes a good point. Keyshawn Bryant's back after the Wofford game on Tuesday. Yeah. And I tell you what, man, you win Tuesday, and you go 4-1 without Keyshawn Bryant. I don't know how much more you could have asked for a start without arguably your best player. Really, truly. So. Again, guys, 843-790-3370. Wow. Yeah. Clemson Tigers actually makes a pretty good point. You talk about a lopsided rivalry. Oklahoma State. Get this, guys. The series history. Oklahoma leads the series over Oklahoma State. OSU has 18 wins. There have been 7 ties. Oklahoma has 90 wins. They lead it 90, 18, and 7. Good God. Wow. Holy smokes. Goodness gracious. That you talk about lopsided. Good Lord. 90, 18, and 7. Anyways, we're talking Carolina Auburn. Also, last night's big win over the UAB Blazers here on a Friday, November the 19th, 2021. OU Owned You points out they've beaten us 4 times this century. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough look for the kids. That's a tough look for the kids in Stillwater, right? That's crazy. They beat y'all back to back. I forgot Les Miles was the Oklahoma State head coach. I really honestly forgot that. Totally forgot he was the Oklahoma State head coach. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Again, guys, want to continue to hear from you. 843-790-3377. Guys, like I said, I've locked in my official prediction for tomorrow night. I think it's a back and forth game. I think it's a very close game. The usual suspects that do determine football games, turnovers, being opportunistic. That'll play a big role tomorrow night. I just think Auburn, I trust more at this point to get that job done. So right now I've got Auburn getting the win 24-20. 24-20. I've got the Auburn Tigers getting the win over South Carolina. But again, I think it's a coin flip type of game. Auburn, just like last year, does not scare me at all. Does not scare me at all. I think it's a very, very winnable game for South Carolina. And, I wonder what the crowd will be like tomorrow. I really do. I wonder what the atmosphere is going to be like, because on one hand, I think people are fired up for a home game, getting back out to Willie B, all that good stuff. On the other hand, I wonder how dejected are some folks after the result last weekend, So going to be interesting for sure. Going to be very, very interesting. Again, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Yeah, apparently RG3 is in Columbia looking for suggestions. So need to get RG3 by the studio. Cody Gaskins, Les Miles was the coach at Oklahoma State back in like the early 2000s. Savannah Webster says some folks should step away from the ledge and realize we won more than we were supposed to already, and the future is bright. I think it'll be a good crowd tomorrow. I think the morale has improved as the week is gone, from what I can tell. And maybe it's just me. I just shifted my mindset totally. But I think the morale has actually improved. I do. I think the morale's improved. I think people are fired up. Again, night game at home. Savannah Webster says, I'm very annoyed about the girls' tournament channel. What kind of shit is that? What, the game's like on some premium, like you have to pay for it, right? Something like that. That's just going to be really, really tough. It's the battle for Atlantis against Buffalo they open with tomorrow night. It's a subscription service, so you have to pay to watch it. You have to pay to watch it. So, that's unfortunate. Breaking 70 says, it's going to be a great day. Clem Sucks takes the L, and we win by a field goal. Hey, I'm down. Why not? Why not? I know all TVs are going to be cut onto that. All TVs will be cut onto that Clemson game at noon for sure. Yep, that's a fact. We're going to be keeping an eye on that one very close. Let's see what college. By the way, I'm curious now. Let's see what College Football News says about that game. Who do they think is going to win? Let's see. Here we go. Wake Forest, Clemson. I'm just going to go to what's going to happen. If Clemson wins this, it's in the ACC championship. If Wake Forest loses to Boston College next week and with an NC State loss to either Syracuse or North Carolina. But just how much do you believe in the Clemson defense? The offense really, really can't consistently move, but the Wake Forest defense has allowed over 500 yards in 5 of the last 7 games and gave up 482 to NC State last week. No, Clemson isn't going to suddenly bust out, but it'll get just physical enough up front to finally take control of a game at least a little bit. Wake Forest with a few deep shots, but not enough of them to overcome the steady pounding. Yes, Clemson will finally start generating a few third down conversions. CollegeBallNews.com has Clemson winning 34-31. What an interesting game that'll be, 34-31. OU owns you says, I really don't think about Oklahoma State very much, to be honest. I don't really care, nowhere care. Now the head coach, or nowhere care to know about their coaches, but I know he's not at OSU. Tenderland, I know this is a little off topic, but I think Devontae Holloman would be a good guest to have at Tin Roof. He is now the coach at my old high school, South Point. Yeah, I'd love to. I never even have it on the podcast, so I'd love to chat with Devontae Holloman. An all-time Gamecock great for sure. Doing a fantastic job at South Point right now. Doing a fantastic job at South Point. Guys, we've hit 140. Going to take our last break of the day. Again, want to continue to hear from you, your questions, your comments, your calls. We'd love to hear, continue to react to last night's huge win at CLA over the UAB Blazers, as well as your predictions. How do you feel tomorrow night will go as the Gamecocks take on the Auburn Tigers under the lights at Williams-Brice Stadium. Guys, I want to continue to hear from you, your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side of the break. We're having a Friday. Great Friday to have a Friday, guys. Hey, let's keep it going. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Final 15 minutes here on a Friday, closing out the week, and what a great week it's been, guys. Again, thank you all so much for your continued love and support. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you. Brennan M in the TDC Questions channel, the Big Cock Club Discord, says Clemson will not score more than 24 points. That's fair. I mean, dude, I'd just love to see him lose. I think we all would. Let's see. On Love kicks. I just can't trust the offensive line or the defensive line. I mean, run the ball, stop the run. You haven't been able to really do those two things outside of one game. So maybe you can, maybe you can rekindle some of that magic at Williams-Brice Stadium. I don't know. I don't know. I hear you, man. Trust me, I hear you. Let's see. Aaron Thompson, I put this on your prediction post. Also, we can't stop the run and can't establish any offense. Auburn 28, South Carolina 13. The good news is that Parker White will break the scoring record. Oklahoma Owns You says, I believe Carolina will make things interesting tomorrow, even with the struggles. Yeah, no, dude, I think it's a back-and-forth game, coin flip type of game. Really could go either way. Cody Collins says, my Clemson prediction against Carolina, 17-3 Clemson. Think it's a legit one. Keep up the good work, go Cox. We'll talk Carolina, Clemson, I should say, predictions next week. How about that? John Gibbs says, Wake Forest 31, Clem sucks 21. That would be sick. I'd love to see that. Again, everybody will be tuned in at noon tomorrow to that game. Of course, our game at 7. Going to be a fun day. Going to be a really, really fun day. And, of course, next week's going to be a hell of a week. Again, next week's going to be very interesting because, I moved here in August of 2019, and, there was no Daily Crow, and the content obviously wasn't nearly to the level that it is now. And we didn't have the game last year. So it'll be really, really fun. It'll be really fun to operate through rivalry week with the Daily Crow and all the content and, the daily podcasts. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But, again, we're not looking past tomorrow night. Huge game as the Gamecocks take on the Auburn Tigers. Looking for, by the way, back-to-back wins for Auburn, right? You beat them last year. Noah John says 28-24 South Carolina beating Auburn. Love to see that. Would love to see that. Would absolutely love to see that. Caden Gibson says, I think Wake tries to run the score up. Caden's got Wake Forest beating Clemson by a score of 52-14. Wow. I mean, Caden, I'd love to see it, my friend. I'd love to see it. I don't know about that score, but I'd love to see it. Oklahoma Owns You. Appreciate the love on the jersey, my friend. Yeah, this is a fire piece, if I do say so myself. So I don't know, man. I just looked in the closet and was like, you know what? Today's the day for the jersey. Yep, I'm feeling the jersey today. I am feeling the jersey. Feeling the jersey. Again, 843-790-3377. Guys, it's 843-790-3377. Just 10 minutes to go here on this Friday. Let's see. Let me just edit something real quick. Cody Collins says, did you look at the baseball non-conference schedule that came out? Yeah. Very excited for baseball for sure. Yeah, very excited for baseball. So, very, very excited. Again, guys, also check out the store. Tons of new offerings at our store, tsus.store. That is tsus.store. store. Tons of new offerings there. All of your favorite designs in polos, long sleeves, pullovers, hoodies. We got garnet hoodies now as well. Really, 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 really exciting times if you love the merch. Really exciting times if you love the merch. Also, koozies still available. So go check it out. OU Owns You says your women's basketball team is looking really good. My friend and I were watching it. It is amazing how hilariously bad Clemson is. I mean, they're bad at everything outside of football, which, this year, this year you can't even say that. You can't even say that. So. Again, guys, would love to hear your last-minute predictions. How do you feel the game's going to go? Tomorrow night is the Gamecocks take on Auburn. How do you feel the game will go? How do you feel the game will shake out? Again, I've got 24-20 Auburn. I just trust the Tigers right now more up front, both offensively and defensively. Will Jason Brown have time to operate? Can Zaquandre White, Kevin Harris, Marshawn Lloyd, can that crew, Juju McDowell, can they get anything going on the ground? And then defensively, can you stop Auburn enough? Can you slow down Tank Bigsby enough to give yourself a real chance, a real opportunity to win this football game? Can you force TJ Finley to beat you? Because, again, I know you guys are going to look at last year. Oh, Chris, look what he did at LSU. Doesn't matter. Different personnel, different scheme, different coaches, different teams, everything, right? What happened last year does not matter. It doesn't. You got to get them in third and longs. I mean, it's very simple. It's very simple. You got to get them in obvious passing situations. Be opportunistic. Force a couple of turnovers. Again, I just think you look at this football team, Florida was the exception, not the rule. I don't think Auburn's a bunch of world beaters. I think it's a toss-up game. But even on the road at Williams-Brice, I trust Auburn more right now to execute said game plan because I think the game plan is very similar. I think the game plan is very similar on both sides. I think the game plan will be, again, to establish the running game, to stop the run, of course, to force turnovers, win the turnover battle. I just think right now I trust Auburn to execute that game plan more consistently. But again, hey, Auburn coming off of that terrible loss against Mississippi State. You're at home at night. You play better there, in my opinion. You'll play better football. Breaking 70 says, will the merchandise make it by Christmas if ordered? Absolutely, Breaking. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Dude, you can order, I would probably say the cutoff date for Christmas would be December the 12th, around there, between the 10th and 12th. So, yeah, you've definitely got time. You've definitely got time. Yes. Yes. Yes, you most definitely have time. I think my vendor will probably have exact shipping dates on – let's see. They'll probably have some exact shipping dates. Here we go. See deadlines. Here we go. Okay, yes. So, for basically everything, everything. December the 8th, you want to have your, and I will definitely post this, obviously. December the 8th for standard shipping, or if you order express shipping, you have until December the 15th. So, you definitely have time, though. You definitely have time. Greg Bedinger says, I'm not optimistic, but I feel the same way I felt going into Florida. With that being said, Greg is picking Auburn to win 40-24. 40-24, the final score. about this? Tennessee, guys, just to give you an idea of how much they've improved. Tennessee has scored just 8 points fewer than the Ole Miss Rebels, who are 8-2 and ranked. That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty damn impressive. OU Owns You says Christmas merch will be fire. I'll tell you what, OU Owns You, the merch that'll be fire is when South Carolina beats Clemson. I mean, dude, that, trust me. Oh, we've also got basketball merch on the way. Basketball merch on the way, folks. Basketball merch is on the way. Justin Martin says South Carolina 30, Auburn 29. I like it. Hey, a win's a win's a win. Whether it's by 1, by 20, I don't care. Get a dub. Find a way to get the dub. Bottom line. Brennan M says in the TDC Questions channel, the Big Cock Club Discord, he says, picking up my Clem Sucks hat today. Love that. Absolutely love that. OU Owns You says it's going to happen this year. Might be by some. Will be glorious to see how bad you piss off the Clemson fans. I'll tell you this, OU Owns You. Again, I don't want to, speak too far ahead. Like we got this game tomorrow, whatever. I'll tell you this, though. South Carolina beats Clemson. I will be insufferable on social media that next week. Absolutely insufferable, my friend. So it will be the most fun week of TSUS ever. So Daddy Yo says, I sure wish that third baseball game was in the Charleston area. Well, they're playing Columbia, Segra, and then Clemson. So, yeah, I mean, the Charleston game was cool, man. Don't get me wrong. But, I understand why they don't play there. I get why they don't. It's just so far out of the way for everyone that doesn't live near that area. Can you imagine being a Greenville Gamecock and you got to travel to Charleston to watch the game? That's just so far out of the way. So my plan will probably be, or definitely will be, go to the games Friday, Saturday, go up Saturday night, probably to Greenville where my sister lives there and my good buddy lives there, and stay the night, and then we'll go to the game on that Sunday. So, yep, going to be a fun time. But again, that's a ways off. We're like 80 days away, 85 days away from first pitch. But it'll be here before you know it. It'll be here for you. Dude, we'll have baseball content before you know it. Before you know it. So. Again, guys, winding down here on this Friday, November the 19th, 2021. Again, guys, thank you all so much for continuing to tune in, rocking and rolling with the content, everything we do, making this yet another massively successful week. Guys, like I told you, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 540, talking everything from last night that happened again in the Gamecocks' huge win over UAB at CLA. And, of course, I lock in my official prediction as the Gamecocks take on the Auburn Tigers. What a Friday. What a great week it's been, guys. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Check out the podcast, and be sure to come out tomorrow to the TSUS tailgate at Seawells, spots 93 to 96. Seawells, spots 93 to 96. Would love to have you guys come out. Again, that's going to do it. It's 2 o'clock. Hey, have a great rest of your Friday. Let's have a weekend. Go Cox, beat Auburn, and we'll talk to you on